A mass shooting took place at Brown University, the prestigious Ivy League school in Rhode Island in United States, where 2 people were killed and 8 were critically wounded. Mayor Brett Smiley said police were still searching for the shooter who struck at Brown's Barus and Hawley Engineering building, where exams were taking place at the time. Brown is on College Hill in Providence, Rhode Island's state capital. The university has hundreds of buildings, including lecture halls, laboratories and dormitories. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and other U.S. federal officials were on the scene. While U.S. President Donald Trump has been briefed on the situation at Brown University, he called for prayers for the victims and said the incident as terrible.
I've been fully briefed on the Brown University situation, what a terrible thing it is. And all we can do right now is pray for the victims and for those that were very badly hurt, it looks like. And we'll inform you later as to what's happening, but it's a shame. It's a shame. Just pray.
Authorities moved students locked down on campus following a deadly shooting at Brown University to a reunification center set up at the university's sports facilities late on Saturday. The Brown campus remained in lockdown hours after the incident, killing 2 people and injuring 9. Streets around the campus were packed with emergency vehicles and security was heightened around the city as law enforcement agencies sought the gunman, who has not yet been identified. And DD India's Akshay Dongre joins us on this story. Hi Akshay, a very good afternoon to you. This is a horrific incident indeed. What more can you tell us about this incident where 2 people were killed and 9 wounded? Any information on who's behind this attack, Akshay?
Well, the manhunt is still on, Siddharth, because even right now the authorities have neither revealed the information about on the people who have died in this horrific attack. And also on who was behind it and what was the motive. However, the bigger problem here is the number of mass shootings that have been on the rise consistently across the country. As far as the latest incident is concerned, we have confirmation that 2 students have died, 9 are injured. And they are being they have been moved to critical care. They have been moved to be provided with the best of the medical attention that they can be given. But a horrific accident once again, incident indeed. Once again, people are left wondering that what is the solution of this relentless, mindless violence that has been going on in the U.S. And that has been on the rise, especially in the last 3 to 4 decades. As far as the schools are concerned, universities are concerned, areas that are the most vulnerable to these kind of horrific attacks are perhaps one of the very areas where the shooters are targeting the most innocent people of the country the most. Back to you.
Definitely. Akshay, what all are the authorities concerned doing to nab the person behind this?
Well, a manhunt has been launched as far as the surrounding areas. The state police as well as the federal agencies are working around, in coordination to nab the accused. Because while the students have been escorted out of the area, there still remains a threat of the attacker, targeting some other area, some other place. So it's unless the attacker is nabbed, there will not be any sort of guarantee that there will be a solution, to this problem at this present. But this is, as we see, a minor sort of a solution to the larger problem. Because as far as mass shootings are concerned, Siddharth, there have been 388 mass shootings just this year, in which 325 people have been killed. Over 1,750 people have been injured across the US. Now we are talking about a larger issue. We are talking about a larger problem that remains, there in the country, however, unanswered for so many presidencies that have come and talked about the solution for this, but no concrete solution, especially given the fact that because of the Second Amendment, people in the US can, purchase and keep arms, not just small arms, but also assault rifles and big arms as well. There have been certain attempts to control it, but then again, the present dispensation, especially the Republican Party, has been vehemently against any sort of alteration to the Second Amendment and the right to procure and keep arms that is given to the people of the United States. So you can imagine a country of over 300 million people, everyone having rights to have arms, and you can have these kind of incidents in a society like this where people are freely keeping weapons. However, how to provide a solution of and safety to the most innocent and most vulnerable, that remains the biggest question that has also been a festering political issue across the United States.
You're right, Akshay, but Akshay, as far as gun violence and mass shootings are concerned, they have become a major cause of concern in the United States. How is Trump administration taking up this issue?
Well, the Trump administration, obviously, initially when there was a debate about it, about arms, we saw Obama administration was the last administration that was taking some strong action and that had some strong views about it. But since the first administration of Donald Trump and now the second one, we are seeing that this issue largely has been ignored as far as gun violence is concerned, about any sort of solution, because there is none. You either can restrict people from keeping arms or you don't. There is no in between here, and any kind of restriction is seen as infringement of people's right to keep arms, to bear arms. So that is a rock and hard place situation for the Trump administration, because from the very beginning they have been against any kind of infringement to the Second Amendment, and that is what the problem lies as far as the present discourse is concerned.
Definitely, Akshay, this is developing. We'll keep taking updates from you on this, but as of now, we leave it there. Thank you so much.